The movie opens with two men sitting close to each other. One is a homeless man searching for a lighter to light his cigarette. The other is a handsome man in his mid-30s, waiting for something to happen. He stares blankly at the railroad, clutching a letter in his hands. When the homeless man asks for a lighter, he replies that people without memories are soulless. He looks very lost and sad as he says that. His name's Chial-Soo. He offers the letter to the homeless man, but he refuses to take it. He only wants to light his cigarette. Later on, the same man pesters a young woman for a lighter again. The woman is pretty, but she looks sad. Her name's Soo-jin. She carries a bag and 2 tickets for the next train. Soo-jin keeps looking at her watch, anxiously waiting for someone to meet her. When the train arrives, she realizes the person she's waiting for won't come. It breaks her heart. She leaves the homeless man with slumped shoulders, choking on tears, until she finds a place to cry. She sobs and leaves the tickets behind. Soo-jin only takes a brief moment to break down. Putting herself together, she grabs her bag and goes to a convenience store. She goes through the motions automatically and ends up forgetting the drink she bought. Soo-jin hastily returns to the store, only to bump into a man who looks homeless. His hair is dirty and his clothes are battered. It's Chial-Soo. Soo-jin notices that he's holding the drink she bought and takes it back from him without saying a word. The two stare at each other for a moment before she leaves. Chial-Soo chuckles because she drank the whole thing and left the empty with him. Soo-jin takes the bus and realizes that she lost her wallet. Once again, she goes back to the store, and the clerk hands her the wallet and the drink she bought. Soo-jin immediately feels bad, because she thought Chial-Soo stole from her. She looks for him everywhere, but he's gone. Soo-jin moves back to her parents' house, and her sister pesters her about her breakup. Soo-jin was dating a married man against her family's wishes. They knew it wouldn't end up well, and it didn't. Soo-jin is heartbroken and humiliated. Her sister jokes that their father won't be happy with her, before their mother pushes her away. Breakfast the next day is awkward and silent. Soo-jin is ashamed of her actions, especially because she knows her parents are embarrassed. To make things worse, everyone around her seems to know she dated a married man. In her new job as a seamstress, her employees gossip about her and call her names. Soo-jin tries not to show how their words affect her, but it's hard. Her new boss compliments her appearance and subtly flirts with her to see if she would be interested. Needless to say, Soo-jin has a bad reputation. After her first day, she decides to change her appearance to try and move on from the past. Seasons go by, and slowly Soo-jin takes back her life. Yet, the memories and shame of her past still cling to her. One day, she goes out with her father, and he surprisingly says that she shouldn't hold on to bad feelings. Everyone makes mistakes once. Hearing her father say that takes a weight off Soo-jin's shoulders, and she feels lighter. Her father has to stop at his workplace, a construction site, to solve some issues. Unbeknownst to Soo-jin, the bedraggled man she met at the convenience store works there. Chial-Soo is a hot-headed fireman who has issues working with the team. When he takes a break to smoke, Soo-jin sees him walking and immediately recognizes him. She doesn't have the chance to talk to him and apologize for her behavior. Her father arrives and they leave. The following day, Soo-jin's boss complains about the construction of their office and how he was scammed by a construction worker. Soo-jin calls her father to ask for help, and he sends Chial-Soo to fix things. He warns Soo-jin that Chial-Soo is a complicated man to deal with, violent, bad-mouthed, and rude. When they meet again, Chial-Soo doesn't recognize her. She looks different with her light clothes and clean face. Soo-jin knows who he is, and her heart jumps when she locks eyes with him. Chial-Soo is ruggedly handsome and manly. He's unapologetic, honest, and speaks his mind. Soo-jin is attracted to him in a way she can't explain. He isn't her type. They are from different social classes, and normally she would never look at him twice. There's something about Chial-Soo that calls to her. Chial-Soo does recognize her. When she's grabbing a drink during her break, he shows up and takes the drink from her. He does the same thing she did to him. He drinks the soda, burps in her face, and hands it to her empty. Despite it being rude, Soo-jin finds it funny. On her way home, she remembers it and laughs by herself when Chial-Soo shows up again. He wonders if she's going home on foot, and she's so startled that she stutters. Chial-Soo doesn't waste time waiting for her and goes to his car. Soo-jin watches him for a moment, confused. As she waits for a cab, Chial-Soo observes as she's robbed by a man on a motorcycle. Calmly, Chial-Soo opens his door and the biker hits it, falling on the ground with his bike. Chial-Soo helps Soo-jin grab her things from the ground, and they watch as the biker dazedly leaves. Soo-jin laughs in disbelief. After all this, Chial-Soo offers her a ride, and she accepts. The ride home is very strange for a girl like Soo-jin. The car has no door on the driver's side, and no windshield. The wind makes her skirt flutter, and her eyes sting. Chial-Soo notices her discomfort and hands her a welding helmet that makes her look ridiculous. Soo-jin finally apologizes for stealing his coke, and explains that she's very forgetful. She wants to know how he recognized her, but he changes the subject. The next day, Soo-jin dresses up to see him again. She even buys some snacks to give him as thanks for the ride. Unfortunately, Chial-Soo isn't working that day. He's at the construction site. Later on, she plans to go after him with her friends, pretending they accidentally met. Chial-soo's surprised to see her there, especially so dressed up and looking beautiful. They sit next to each other as her friends interact with his friends. They hold hands the entire time, though nobody sees it. He pours her a shot of alcohol and says that if she drinks at all, they will start dating. If she doesn't, they will never see each other again. Soo-jin drinks the whole thing, and Chial-soo doesn't waste any time. He kisses her deeply, feeling the alcohol still in her mouth. They start dating after that day. Soo-jin finds out a new world with Chial-soo. Despite his temper and rudeness, he's fun and sweet when he wants to be. Soo-jin can't stay away from him. She's addicted to him and his sharp tongue. Chial-soo isn't overtly emotional, but he's falling for Soo-jin. She's smart, pretty, and fun, and she doesn't judge him. She sees a side to him that no one believes he has. When Soo-jin goes to his place for the first time, she finds out that he has a passion for architecture. He even took lessons on how to build temples a few years back. Days go by, and Soo-jin couldn't be happier. One day, she returns to where she used to live with her ex-boyfriend. She takes some of her things back and leaves the keys behind, not planning to go there again. After that, she comes clean to Chial-soo and confesses that she had a relationship with a married man. Chial-soo harshly replies that he believes people who hurt others are only selfish. Love is no excuse for acting in a bad way, especially when there are innocent people involved. Soo-jin is upset and ashamed. She thought he would understand her and take her side. She storms out, before she cries in front of him and embarrasses herself more. She's so upset because deep down she knows he's right. She allowed herself to fall for a man who was taken, and ended up being torn apart. It wasn't worth it. A few moments later, Chial-soo sees her crying and feels bad about his harsh words. Soo-jin admits that she agrees with him, that her actions were wrong, and she regrets it. Chial-soo discovers that he hates seeing Soo-jin cry. He interrupts her self-deprecating speech and cracks some jokes to lighten up the mood. Soo-jin is glad. Soo-jin encourages Chial-soo to follow his dream of becoming an architect. She even sews a suit for a job interview. Things are going really well for them. They are a match made in heaven. Soo-jin is the sunshine to Chial-soo's grumpiness. Weeks go by, and Soo-jin's father notices that his daughter isn't gloomy anymore. She looks happy. He wonders if she met someone new. Soo-jin's first reaction is to lie and say that she's still single. Her sister already gossiped to their father, so he knows that's not true. Soo-jin is embarrassed to tell her father that she's dating his subordinate. He asks what Chial-soo does for a living, and she lies that he's an architect. Her father insists that she brings Chial-soo to meet them, but she's reluctant. She doesn't know what their reaction will be. The following day, she invites Chial-soo to her house, but he declines it. She's surprised that he doesn't want to meet her parents. She wants to marry him someday, and to do that, he needs to ask for her parents' permission. Chial-soo admits that he's afraid of commitment, and doesn't want to get married. From then on, Soo-jin insists that she loves him and wants to marry him. She doesn't understand why he doesn't want the same, and starts doubting his feelings for her. One evening, she takes matters into her own hands, and invites her family to dinner without informing him. Chial-soo knows that they are from different social classes, and that Soo-jin has never struggled in life. He's embarrassed and awkward in her parents' presence. To make things worse, her father recognizes him. Dinner turns into a painful affair. No one knows what to do or say. Soo-jin starts feeling suffocated. It seems like she can never do anything right. She goes to the restroom, and in her absence, her father interrogates Chial-soo. He doesn't have a family or a proper house. His house is dingy and falling to pieces. Soo-jin's father can't accept him as a husband to his precious daughter, so he fires him. Chial-soo gets up, but before he can leave, Soo-jin's sister screams her name. They all run outside the restaurant, only to find Soo-jin passed out on the street. Chial-soo doesn't think twice before taking her in his arms to run to the hospital. Soo-jin's father watches as he runs without looking back at them. At the hospital, the doctor explains that she fainted because of stress. Chial-soo approaches her bed, and Soo-jin hugs him tightly. At that moment, her father realizes that Chial-soo and Soo-jin really love each other. He gives them his blessing. Chial-soo and Soo-jin marry and move in together. Married life is bliss. Soo-jin's father, worried about her livelihood now that she's married to a poor man, introduces Chial-soo to a customer. The man wants to build a house in the countryside, and he wants Chial-soo to do the architectural project. It's a great opportunity for him to get experience as an architect, and Soo-jin wants to help him. Slowly, Soo-jin's father starts accepting Chial-soo into his family. They drink together at the family dinner, and her father gives Chial-soo an important family heirloom, his father's hammer. He admits to Chial-soo that though he was skeptical about him in the beginning, he can see great promise in him. He needs to stop allowing his temper to get the better of him, and focus on his talent. He's sure Chial-soo will be able to do great things when he puts effort into it. Chial-soo closes the contract to be the architect. Things start looking up for them financially, and they are still in the honeymoon stage. Soo-jin can't believe that after her bad luck with love, she found someone to love her so deeply like Chial-soo. In turn, Chial-soo is grateful that Soo-jin saw in him someone worth her time and effort. There's only one thing that is making Soo-jin worry. Her memory isn't very good, and she keeps losing herself in familiar streets. She even forget how to get home one day. She opens up to her friends, but they believe she's only tired because of Chial-soo. Despite laughing with them, her bad memory is bothering Soo-jin. She feels as if something is wrong with her. Later on that same day, she arrives home and sees that everything is different. For a brief moment, she fears she's in the wrong place because the kitchen looks new. Cheol-soo quickly shows up to surprise her. Now that they are not so poor anymore, he wants her to have the best. Soo-jin is so happy with his thoughtfulness, but it isn't necessary. She loves him no matter what, and will continue to do so. The following day, Soo-jin goes to the doctor to check her head. She informs the doctor of what happened to her in the past, adding that the wife of the man she had an affair with pulled her hair very hard. Soo-jin believes that it might have done some damage to her brain. The doctor thinks it's only stress, but advises her to do a scan to make sure it's nothing bad. Days go by, and Soo-jin forgets her fears. Cheol-soo moves to his new office and receives a not-so-welcome visit. His mother, whom he hasn't seen in 3 years, shows up to ask for money. Cheol-soo is mad at her for abandoning him when he needed her the most. His mother is a shallow woman who sells her body for a living. She's always in debt, and the reason she came to visit Cheol-soo is that she needs to pay a debt to a gang. Cheol-soo refuses to give her anything, and she angrily leaves after spitting at him. He never mentions her visit to Soo-jin. In fact, she doesn't even know he has a mother. Later on, Cheol-soo takes Soo-jin to the temple where he learned everything he knows. The master of the temple took Cheol-soo in when he was only 10, but he didn't like him very much. Still, he taught Cheol-soo how to create beautiful things, and for that he's grateful. Now that he has a good job, he wants to show up to his master. The man is old and cranky. He isn't happy to see Cheol-soo. When Cheol-soo shows him his work, he only points out the mistakes and criticizes everything. Soo-jin can see that Cheol-soo is sad and frustrated with his words. He's his only father figure, and he wanted to show him that he wasn't a waste of time. Feeling overwhelmed with embarrassment, he takes off, leaving Soo-jin with the old man. The old man then proceeds to ask her if she met his mother already. Soo-jin is startled. She had no clue Cheol-soo had a living mother. The old man explains that Cheol-soo hasn't forgiven his mother for her past mistakes, even after many years. Soo-jin doesn't know what to say. Cheol-soo has always been mysterious, but she thought he just didn't have anything interesting to tell her. Now she's curious about his past life, and she wants to figure out what happened. Later that day, when they are already in bed, Soo-jin waits for Cheol-soo to fall asleep and goes snooping. There's a drawer that Cheol-soo forbids her to open, and she firmly believes she will find her answers there. Silently, she opens the drawer and finds pictures and documents of Cheol-soo's mother. The next day, Soo-jin goes to the address to try and find the woman. She finds the address, but the house was broken into and his mother was taken into custody for illegal activities. When she informs Cheol-soo of what happened, he's not happy that she went after his mother. Soo-jin wants him to forgive her so that he can stop hurting, but Cheol-soo refuses. For the first time since they met each other, he gets angry at her and ends up hurting himself. They argue, and Soo-jin cries, not because her feelings are hurt, but because she feels sad for Cheol-soo. She remembers when she made a mistake, and her family forgave her so easily. Forgiving, for her, is about cleaning his heart of the pain and desperation of the past. Cheol-soo still holds into his resentment, and that makes him hurt. Soo-jin holds him as she asks him to let go of the past to move on to the future. It's what he deserves. Cheol-soo calms down and goes after his mother in prison. She's hurt and angry at him, as if everything that went wrong in her life is his fault. Cheol-soo sits silently as she humiliates him, saying that she regrets giving birth to him. He remembers Soo-jin the entire time, taking strength from her. After his mother kicks him out, saying that she will never see him again, Cheol-soo goes to pay her debt. The money he made from the project, that he was saving to build a house for him and Soo-jin, all goes to pay his mother's debt. It's depressing for him. Soo-jin is supportive and doesn't complain in the slightest. A house isn't as important as his mental health and happiness for her. Cheol-soo feels better, knowing that Soo-jin will always be there for him, and that he isn't the lonely boy of the past anymore. Now he has someone who loves him unconditionally. Soo-jin goes back to the doctor's appointment 2 weeks later. As the doctor asks her questions, he soon realizes that her memory is very bad. She can barely remember details from her life, like her sister's birthday or age. Soo-jin does the brain scan, but she has to wait some time for the result. When she arrives at work, her manager gives her some bad news. Her former boss, the one she had an affair with, started working at the company. He's her new boss. Soo-jin can't believe her bad luck. She goes to his office to see if that's really true, and there he is, laughing with her coworker. They get a moment alone, and he explains that he's there to stay. He's also single, something he finds funny, because she's married now. As he starts to explain why he didn't show up, Soo-jin quickly cuts him off and storms off. She doesn't care anymore about his motives. Later on, back at their house, Soo-jin is in a good mood as she glues newspaper clippings of Cheol-soo's achievements. At some point, she stands up to grab something from the fridge, and Cheol-soo watches her. Soo-jin looks lost as she goes around the house, and then she seems surprised to see him there. Cheol-soo chuckles, because he thinks she's joking, but she isn't. He worriedly wonders about her exams, and she explains that she will have to go back. On her next appointment, the doctor gives her the worst news of her life. She has Alzheimer's, and that's why she keeps forgetting things. Not only that, but she's in an advanced state. The doctor explains that she will have to quit her job because she won't be able to do simple things anymore. Her memories will slowly fade away. On her way home, Soo-jin can only cry about her misfortune. She can't believe that right when she finds happiness, she will lose it all. It's a tough pill to swallow, and she doesn't know how to inform Cheol-soo. Her solution is to act as normally as possible. She pretends nothing is wrong, but her eyes are sad. She wonders if it would be a good idea for her to stop working, and he agrees, not suspecting her reasoning. Later that day, Soo-jin cries alone in the bathroom, thinking about everything she's about to lose. She won't be able to have a baby with Cheol-soo or grow old with him by her side. She will soon forget who he is and his importance in her life. Their inside jokes will be nothing more than words, and his kisses won't feel the same. The next day, Soo-jin quits her job and becomes a housewife. On her first day at home, she packs Cheol-soo's lunch and pretends to be happy. When he leaves, she lies down for hours, feeling depressed. Her phone rings, and it's her boss and former lover. He wants her to go back to the office and quit her job properly. Soo-jin doesn't want to go back. She only wants to stay in bed the whole day and feel miserable. The man insists too much, and she has to go. Back to Cheol-soo, he opens his lunch and finds out there's only rice. Soo-jin forgot to pack the side dishes. He finds it weird, remembering the other times she forgot things, and it worries him. He goes to her doctor that same day and finds out the truth. He freaks out, not believing that what the doctor is saying is true. He can't accept that Soo-jin will one day forget everything, including him. The doctor explains that her case is advanced, and that there's nothing they can do to stop it. She will slowly lose everything that makes her the person she is. After the appointment, Cheol-soo calls Soo-jin, but a strange man picks up. He explains that he found the cell phone on the street. Soo-jin went to her office, but ended up losing herself. She crumbles to the ground, confused, until a police officer helps her. The police officer takes her around the city, waiting for her to tell him where she's going, but she can't remember. On their way, they meet her boss, and Soo-jin smiles. She remembers him as her lover. In the meantime, Cheol-soo desperately looks for her. Soo-jin talks to her boss for a moment, and he notices something is wrong with her. A few moments later, she has a moment of clarity and quickly leaves him behind. Hours later, Cheol-soo finally finds her. She's playing baseball by herself at the same place he took her for their first date. Soo-jin figures out that he knows about her condition and suggests they part ways. She can't be selfish and stay with Cheol-soo, knowing that one day she won't remember anything. She doesn't want to make him suffer, seeing her lose herself. Cheol-soo scoffs at her idea because he would never let her go. She's the first person to see him for who he is, to love him without asking for anything in return. Cheol-soo will stay with her and take care of her, just as he knows she would do for him. Soo-jin sobs, and Cheol-soo wants to hold her tight. He promises to always be there for her, even when she forgets him. Soo-jin can't accept that. The last thing she wants is for him to remember her like a shadow of who she is. Holding his tears, Cheol-soo hugs Soo-jin and pleads with her to allow him to take care of her. He will be her heart and soul if he needs to. Soo-jae finally relents. For the next few days, Cheol-soo sticks notes all over the house, with messages so Soo-jin doesn't forget the details of her life. The notes aren't enough, even when Soo-jin takes her medicine. As she's preparing food for a birthday party for Cheol-soo's mother, someone knocks on the door. Soo-jin once again has a lapse of memory. It's her boss bringing her office things to her. Soo-jin remembers him as her lover again, and invites him in. Cheol-soo arrives home and hears Soo-jin talking to someone. When he gets there, he sees the man shaking Soo-jin and asking her to wake up. Soo-jin doesn't recognize him. Cheol-soo is so pissed that the man is at his house, making her confused, that he punches him. Soo-jin tries to make him stop, and accidentally cuts his arm. Cheol-soo drags the man from the house and continues beating him up. Soo-jin's mind is a mess of erratic thoughts. She's confused and lost. As she looks at her boss, she sees Cheol-soo in his place, getting beaten. Her family and Cheol-soo's mother, along with his master, arrive at the place and witness him beating the man. They are all shocked, but before they can ask what's happening, Soo-jin passes out. Later on, Cheol-soo finally confides to her family what's happening to her. His father-in-law wants to take Soo-jin back home to take care of her. He knows exactly what her future will be like, because the same happened to his father. Cheol-soo refuses his offer. He would never return Soo-jin, as if she's a spoiled object that he can't use anymore. He promised her he would take care of her, and that's what he plans on doing. Soo-jin appears in the living room and accidentally wets herself. Cheol-soo quickly takes her away to spare her from the embarrassment. She doesn't remember anything that happened before. Cheol-soo cleans her up while he silently weeps. It hurts to see such a bright soul as Soo-jin suffering like this. Everybody leaves without having a party, and even Cheol-soo's mother feels bad for him. To distract himself from the situation, Cheol-soo starts making their house project. Soo-jin stops recognizing him and starts calling him by her boss's name. It hurts Cheol-soo deeply, but he knows she isn't doing it on purpose. He pretends to be whoever she wants, putting on a smile and moving on. When he's alone, though, he breaks down. He goes back to her doctor to inform him of her advances. The doctor explains that her recent memories are the ones to go first, and soon, she won't remember anything. Cheol-soo starts questioning if she really loves him, not her old lover, and it hurts him not to know the truth. Back to Soo-jin, while alone at home, once again she recalls Cheol-soo and remembers what she called him. She breaks down and feels awful for hurting him like that. Cheol-soo doesn't deserve to live a life like this. When Cheol-soo comes back home from work, the house is empty. There's no sign of Soo-jin, only a letter on the table. In the letter, Soo-jin apologizes for her lack of memory and promises that she only loves Cheol-soo. Her heart and soul belong to him. Sadly, she can't be with him anymore. She can't bear the thought of hurting him so much, so she left. The only thing she asks of him is to talk to her father. Cheol-soo goes to her father's house, only to receive a divorce notification. The issue is that Soo-jin isn't there either, and no one knows where she is. Cheol-soo has to file a missing person report and wait for the police to find her. Cheol-soo feels absolutely miserable and pathetic. He thinks it's his fault she left, because he wasn't there to take care of her. He goes to the train station carrying her letter and meets a homeless man. It's the same man who talked to Soo-jin in the beginning. Cheol-soo waits to see if she comes to the station, but she's nowhere to be seen. Weeks go by with no news of Soo-jin. Cheol-soo is depressed and barely hanging on. One day he receives a letter addressed to him. He recognizes Soo-jin's handwriting, and his heart almost jumps out of his chest. In the letter, she says that she remembers everything that day, and that it might be her last to write to him with her memories. She asks him to not worry about her, that she's fine. She wants him to move on and forget about her. Cheol-soo does the opposite of what she asks. He goes after her, following the address, and ends up at a hospice. He puts on the cologne she enjoyed and enters. The nurse explains that some days are better than others for Soo-jin. Sometimes she can't even dress herself. In her room, Cheol-soo notices there's only one picture, a picture of the two of them happy. He sees her sitting by herself and tears up. Soo-jin smiles when she sees him, and quickly stands, dropping her drawing book. Cheol-soo picks it up and notices that there are many drawings of him. It cuts him deeply that even after all this time, a part of her still remembers him. Cheol-soo introduces himself to her, and they have lunch together. Cheol-soo observes her eating with the nurse's help. She looks so fragile and lost. He wants to hold her and never let go. Unfortunately, that will not be possible for him. In a brief moment, Soo-jin recognizes his cologne, though she can't explain why. Hearing her say that makes the tears drop from his eyes without his consent. He wonders if he can take her on a trip, and the nurse agrees, though she follows. He takes her to the convenience store where they met. He waits inside with a can of soda, and when she enters, he opens it for her. Soo-jin passes by him and enters the store. Inside, all her friends and even her family are there, pretending to be customers. Seeing their faces makes Soo-jin remember. Cheol-soo takes her alone on a trip, and says that he loves her for the last time.